What are you up to now?
Levioso. Repulsor. Yes. Defender. Incendio. Levioso. Repulsor. Incendio. Levioso. Repulsor. Incendio. Levioso! Repulsor! Arresto Momentum. Accio. Defendo. Expelliarmus. Arresto Momentum. Defendo. Incendio. Repulsor. Levioso.
8 legs is simply too many.
Repulsor. Defendo. Incendio. Levioso.
Ironically, I didn't see ahead of time how bored I'd be in divination class.
Knowledgeable.
What do we have here?
I hope those assignments were challenging enough for you.
I've completed all of my tasks, Professor Onai.
Very well done. Although I must admit, I did have something of a premonition that you would follow through. Now, as you have no doubt sharpened your perception by completing my assignment, I am curious. Based upon the knowledge that one's present and even one's past may reveal traces of what is to come, what do you see in your own future?
I can't get rid of this feeling of a coming danger.
I see. Know that such omens are not damning if they can at least prepare us. And you are preparing yourself, even now. But this talk of tomorrow should not divert us from your present success. I shall inform our good deputy headmistress of your exemplary performance. And if that performance is any omen of what your future may hold, then I, for one, see great things. Channel your magic towards your targets. You have it! Now, why not practice the new spell on the training dummy?
Descendo!
I think you have it.
Levioso! Descendo!
At some point, you must stop preparing and put your newly honed skills to the test outside of the classroom.
Professor, do you have a moment?
I do?
I was wondering how you decided to teach divination.
The art of divination is an important yet often misunderstood branch of magic. Those of us who possess the sight are rare, and, as is often the case with the unique among us, we can frequently be misread, even feared. When I was granted the opportunity to teach others about my gift and the good it can do, I was most grateful.
I see. Natty told me that you and she moved here from Uganda, where she had attended Wagadu.
Yes, Natsai and I both loved Uganda and Wagadu, but we are happily settled here now. I had foreseen such a change, but did not know the details until it occurred. I was glad of the outcome. You would be wise to remember that the consequences of our actions are complex. And so, divining what is to come is not as simple as gazing into a crystal ball or studying the bottom of a teacup.
I find it truly intriguing, even if I don't fully understand it.
Intriguing. That is one word for it. And I'm certain you will come to understand many things more deeply in the days ahead. You are a student at Hogwarts, after all. It cannot have escaped you that we in the Wizarding world are forever navigating the seemingly inexplicable.
Of course, Professor.
Now, I know that we both have places to be. Not because I have the sight, mind you, but because I am a professor and you are a student. I have enjoyed our conversation.
Descendo!
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
answer for me about the butterflies?
Hello, Serona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. In fact, we're working together to try and rein in Ramrock.
Are you? I suspected you and he would get along. Perhaps best I don't know details of your plans. And I shall refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something?
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I've actually met Mrs. Sprottle. I recently spoke with her about her friend Claire Beaumont.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stay with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
You did. Ha! No tolerance for thieves. Hand them back.
Hand what back, sir? We've not took a thing.
Hand them back.
There's nothing to give, sir. It was only the one.
Revelio.
That's all of them, sir. Honestly, I swear.
How many times? Are you pair going to keep pilfering my shop?
Only a hairy bar.
Accio.
Who lived here, I wonder?
I'll figure out why there's such a fuss over poaching. I'll get that goblin helm back. Hopefully by rummaging your corpse.
Accio. Protego. Expelliarmus. Repulsor. Levioso.
What's that? I've seen Billy Wing.
Expelliarmus. Repulsor. Tracer.
afraid to take a hit, are you? You're the little sod that saved Flipwell.
The beasts around here can sleep a bit easier now. Ah, Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle? Nice to see you again, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect Horklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some Horklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
I can certainly try and find some for you.
That would be wonderful. I'm worried about the travelling vendors and would love to get them more Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting Horklumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather Horklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Oh, goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those Horklumps. I and the vendors I help would greatly appreciate it.
Is that you, Roy?
This must be the cavern Mrs. Sprottle mentioned. Better have a look around, see if I can find that box of letters.
Incendio!
That's all the Horklumps for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased. Either I'll have to fight that troll, or avoid it altogether.
Incendio! Incendio.
This must be Sirona's box of letters. I think that's everything. Sirona will be glad to have this back. I should find Mrs. Sprottle. She'll be glad to get these hawk lumps. This could prove dangerous if I'm not careful. Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. I have good news. I was able to harvest some hawk lumps for you, and I found Sirona's box of letters.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion. And Sirona will be delighted to have those letters. How kind of you. Now you be careful heading back to Hogsmeade.
I should take this box of letters to Sirona. She'll be glad to have it back.
Say it again. Can't thank you enough for helping to save the village from those trolls.
Hello, Sirona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some hawk lumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aiden. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories.
Patron.
My family and I travel somewhere every summer.
Relieved to finally have an answer as to why that portrait was empty.
Hello, Adelaide. I received your owl.
Thank you for coming. You see, my uncle Roland is a metal trader who's quite well known in the goblin community. He normally sends me owls every week when he's on his business travels. In his last owl, he alluded to dealings with those radical goblins, Ranrock's loyalists. It's been ages since that owl and I'm worried. What with the troll attack on Hogsmeade and the rumours that goblins may have been involved, well, I'm fearing the worst. Should I be worried about my uncle, or am I overthinking this?
I think you're right to be concerned, Adelaide. Your uncle may be in trouble.
You're much more understanding than Professor Weasley. She heard I was going to look for him and forbade me from leaving the grounds. She's convinced he can handle himself, but I can't concentrate on anything until I know he's all right. Could you try to find out for me? From what I hear, you're almost as adventurous as Uncle Roland.
Has your uncle traded with many goblins?
Yes, for ages. Even speaks gobbledygook. But he only recently mentioned Ranrock's lot, insisting the galleons were worth the risk. He does it for me. Between robes and supplies, attending Hogwarts costs a fair sickle. And besides that, Uncle Roland has expensive taste. He's sacrificed so much for me over the years. I promised him that as soon as I finish Hogwarts, I shall be the one taking care of him.
I take it you and your uncle are close.
We are. My mother died when I was born, and I lost my father when I was 5. Uncle Roland's looked after me for as long as I can remember. He knows I get anxious when he travels, and that's why he sends me all the owls, to let me know that he's all right.
I'll try and look into it for you, Adelaide.
Thank you. He's very thorough in his record keeping, notes all his trades in a journal, makes maps. In fact, in his last owl, he drew me a map of his next stop. He'd planned to set up camp north of here. I do hope you're able to find out where he is. Thank you again for any help you can provide. Oh, Uncle Roland, what have you got yourself into?
Adelaide's Uncle Roland is all right. She seems very worried. Adelaide mentioned her uncle's cabin may be near Brockborough, past the river. This be Mr. Oakes' campsite? Ranrock's loyalists, just ahead. Can I take them by force or be discreet? Lumos.
I was only following orders. Leave your accusations in someone else's direction if you don't mind. I will make you.
Now to find out what happened here. Mr. Oakes' trade journal. Adelaide said that her uncle kept notes of his trades, maps. Perhaps these landmarks will lead me to him. Mr. Oakes' trade journal.
Descendo! Depulso! Confringo! Defendo! Descendo! Depulso! Confringo! Incendio! Glacier! Incendio! Depulso! Glacier! Incendio! Expelliarmus! Depulso! Incendio! Expelliarmus! Glacier! Depulso! Incendio! Incendio! Lumos! Lumos.
I could fall dead asleep on my feet, I could. I'm famished.
Your blood's on Ranrock's hands.
hole the other day.
I would say that Irondale is not appropriately named. I did always like a polite battle. One in Merlin. I heard something. Betting on the dragon fight? Nothing.
Petrificus totalis.
It's been ages since I've found anything worth poaching near Cragcroft. Nothing to poach in Arrynshire except spiders. Not worth the trouble, if you ask me.
Arrest them. Arrest their momentum. Descendo! Also, confringo. What do we have here?
Only I didn't get my hand. Somebody there? Hello?
Not the best place for an undercover.
No one here as usual.
Arresto. Expelliarmus.
I may have more luck higher up in the keep. Totalis. Perhaps not the best place to be caught alone. A ladder. That's what I need.
Your wizard will be spared.
Totalis.
Lumos.
I know I heard something that...
This castle's hiding all sorts of secrets.
It won't be long now before we find another repository.
This is the spot on the map. I'd best have my wits about me.
Totalis. Wait a moment.
What will we find in here? Revelio.
Arresto momentum. Descendo. Levioso. Descendo. Levioso.
I'm a goblin!
If only Red were here to see this!
Expelliarmus. Glacius. Repulse. Arresto momentum.
This is where you will fail.
Descendo. Levioso.
This doesn't hurt! What's the point?
Descendo. Arresto momentum. Incendio.
It looks as though Adelaide's instincts were spot on.
Compulso. Aloha Mora.
How long for a bacon and mushroom stew?
Arresto. Levioso. Accio.
Expelliarmus.
my mother used to make.
A human's word is worthless. This prisoner owes us the metal we were promised. We're close to a breakthrough. I can feel it.
Arrest them.
What was that? I feel as though I'm not alone.
Incendiary.
Such arrogance.
Protego!
I'll get you. Someone's taken out after me! I don't have time for this.
Arrest those guys.
I won't rest.
Expelliarmus. Descendo.
Dead. I will make you.
Expelliarmus.
Won't get away.
Protego.
Fight about as well as a pug.
Incendiary.
I shall avenge your
Expelliarmus.
Won't get away with that.
A boiler door. How to open it?
Expelliarmus. Expelliarmus. Descendo. Arresto.
Always on the defensive.
Revelio.
Oh, this day's gone too long.
Patricius Totalis.
Incendio.
Little moon calf.
Expelliarmus. Incendio. Expelliarmus.
Move of a coward.
Incendio. Expelliarmus.
Hello? Mr. Oakes?
Yes, I'm here. They've taken my wand. This cell has an enchanted lock. I have experience with these locks, but I need my wand if I have any chance of opening it. Look for a boiler door. I've heard them speak of it.
I need to find Mr. Oakes' wand. Where could it be?
Revelio.
One way or another, we'll get what we're owed.
Oh. Oh, could do with a nice mushroom stew. Ah. Bring me a dozen humans to I'll take them all. Run the other way when they see me, humans do. Every time. Ah. Ah. What I wouldn't give for a cup of mushroom tea. Oh.
Somebody there, enjoy!
Descender!
Protect you, almost had enough!
Arresto momentum.
But I'm better. I won't rest.
Arresto momentum. Expelliarmus! You've one less follower, Ranrock. This must be Mr. Oakes's wand. Perhaps now he can set himself free.
You did it! I found my wand and... Wait, you're a student? Oh, we must get you to safety immediately. It's dangerous.
It's all right, Mr. Oakes. I've dealt with these goblins before.
Dear Merlin, you're either very lucky or very talented. Well, how did you find me?
I'm a friend of Adelaide's. She was worried about your business with Ranrock's loyalists.
Oh, she was right to be. I couldn't go through with the agreement, and when I told them, I ended up blindfolded and behind bars. Been locked in that infernal cell for so long, they'd forgot I was even there. I overheard things. If only I could reward you for what you've done. Blasted goblin stole every Knut on me. All I can say is thank you, truly.
Am I right that you speak gobbledygook?
Unbeknownst to Ranrock's fiends, I do. I've always had an affinity for goblin culture. Knew I wanted to be a metal trader ever since I was a lad. It wasn't easy learning the language. It's complex, and my memory's as weak as my knees these days. But after decades working with fine goblin folk, I grew fairly proficient. At least, I'd like to think so.
You mentioned you overheard things.
Sad tale, really. I think I know where Ranrock's unfortunate vendetta against wizardkind began. Although dragon breeding was outlawed by the Warlocks Convention of 1709, Ranrock stumbled upon an illegal dragon camp. He was young, found the creatures fascinating. He'd visit the camp in secret whenever he could, never making his presence known. After weeks of sly surveillance, he finally summoned the courage to speak to the wizard in charge. Ranrock wanted to join them, and the creatures. The wizard happened to drop his wand. Ranrock saw an opportunity. He picked it up, went to hand it back as a means of introducing himself. The sight of a goblin with a wand sent the wizard into an instant rage. He beat Ranrock nearly to death. Ever since, Ranrock has despised wizardkind, sees us all as cruel.
I'm grateful I was able to help you, Mr. Oakes. Adelaide thinks the world of you.
Oh, and I her. She's become quite savvy to my trading habits, always analyzing my detailed owls. If only I hadn't resorted to trading with such fiends. A lesson I shan't soon forget. Having my wand back is like being reunited with an old friend. I must return home and inform Adelaide of my safety. Will you be all right?
I'll be fine, Mr. Oakes. You get back to Adelaide. I assure you, her worries outweigh yours.
Oh, I'm anxious to see my dear niece. And then I plan to travel far from here for my next round of trading. Thank you. May life reward you justly for your deeds. Be well, my friend.
Mr. Oakes was lucky. Ranrock's lot would never have freed him.
Revelio.
Levioso! Accio! Arresto momentum! Accio! Levioso!
I will
Descendo! Arresto momentum! Levioso! Accio! Confringo! Expelliarmus!
I will make you pay. Someone's here.
Expelliarmus!
Are you...
Incendio!
Dead.
Incendio! Arresto momentum! Accio! Revelio! Goodness. Not a party to attend by myself. Glad I was never locked up here.